I like that shirt.
Thank you.
Welcome to Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money.
Hey, happy hump day, everybody. This is Fly Nubian Money, where we help you to master your mindset and maximize your money. Today, we're going to talk about a topic, I don't know, he wasted my prime years. A lady is trying to sue a man for compensate her for wasting her prime childbearing years. They were together from ages 20 to 34. She wanted a ring and a family, and he walked away. Now she wants him to pay her for her fertility treatments so she can start over with somebody else. The internet is divided, and she is seeking Is she seeking accountability, or is she seeking revenge, y'all? Can you put a price on the time that you can't get back? Can you? Can you? And also, do people owe each other financially for relationships that did not lead to the future that one person expected? Now, I'm Constance Carter, and we have some of the dopest females on the planet right now. We got Dr. Sabrina SEW in the building, and we also got the B.Big Coach, Dr. Felice in the house, and we're gonna have a really good conversation because these are the two of my favoriteest ladies that always have these really engaging dialogue. So, ladies, before we get to the video, because I have not seen it, I'm gonna ask you first, Dr. Sabrina. Do you think that a man is responsible for a woman and her for this? And if he's been promising her and promised her, we're gonna get married, and then he decides, nah, it's not what I want to do, and she basically believed him. Is he responsible for that?
Absolutely not. And that's what I believe.
Okay, no,
that's what I believe. I mean, he said it. Did she have to believe it? Nope. She chose to believe it. So now she wants to hold someone else responsible for her choices. I don't believe that.
What about you, Dr. Felice?
So I always tell my ladies, do not give somebody your youth, right? And so you have to know what your timeline is. She should have had a goal or a date that she knew that she wanted to do these things by. And if he couldn't meet her at that deadline, she should have left. So I do not think that, I don't think she has any, I don't think she can stand on anything but this right now. I mean, like Dr. Sabrina says, she made a choice to stay. And yes, she did stay with the promise of marriage and a family. But like, she could have had a baby in between that time that they were dating in those 10 years. Like, why did that never happen? Like
she was trying to do it the right way. She wanted to get married first.
So 10 years, like after year 3, I would have been like, I'm not your person. A man knows when he wants somebody. And that 10-year time gap, he knew that she wasn't the one. He was stringing her along, and she let him.
Well, here's what I know. A man's going to do one thing. Lie like a big old fat rug. He gonna lie, and your ass believed him, and he told you, but he didn't show you. So, sis, I'm sorry, that's all on you. You waited around for his monkey ass, just like Dr. Felice said. 3 years. I know somebody right now is with somebody, been with her like 4 or 5 years, no plans of getting married. They well into their 50s. What is you doing? And you're just right there, right with them, just he's talking, I know we got a serious relationship. I know and this man is not nowhere near talking about marrying her. And I mean, her good years is gone, but now you in your 50s. So when y'all do break up, because she gonna be 60. And then what? You talk about your good years, you really gonna be giving away your good years. So I do believe that women have to be more smarter in how they make these decisions and relying on these lying ass dudes. But let's take a look at the video. and get a little bit more context because I don't know.
But the New York Times put out a story.
And it's about a 34-year-old woman who is demanding compensation from her ex-boyfriend after she accused him of wasting her prime childbearing years after dating for close to 10 years. She says that she put her career, it's not funny. She says that she put her career and goals on hold for him as soon as she was ready to start a family. He left her. She is demanding he pay for her fertility treatment so she can get pregnant by another man.
Yeah, so he left her. Now that's good context because
I don't know. She clearly ain't over him. Because, when you're done with the situation, you're just done with the situation. And you're not, when you're not done with the situation, you're going to do something to let me try it again. I'm going to sue him. You know what? I'm mad because you did this 10 years ago. Let me text him and tell him how I feel. Like when you done with a motherfucker, you don't want. I mean, what do you think? Does it matter that he left her? If she would have left him, would she been further justified? Like, Dr. Felice, what do you think about the video?
I think that he finally did her a favor by leaving her. I think he gave her a present, a gift, and she needs to run with it. And she's still young. She's only 34. Yeah, she probably did want children a little closer to her 20s, but it didn't happen. She's still young. And by him leaving her, he freed her to be able to meet somebody who can give her what she wants. If she wants marriage and children, that is her right. That is a wonderful thing to desire. Now go ahead and get that. And it looks like he had to leave her because even with that, she didn't leave him. Why not? When you didn't get all the way to the marriage, to the vow place, why didn't you leave him? And so he had to leave her. And I'm glad he did.
That's a good question, Dr. Felice, because I heard a brother say, a lot of men will say, men typically won't leave you. They'll do things so that you can leave them because they don't want to be the bad guys. They'll do things, because you notice most divorces are done by women. So they'll do all these things, and then you finally get fed up and say, you know what, I'm going to leave. But men are typically not going to leave. He probably gave her all kinds of clues for her to get the hell out, and she just wouldn't take them. So finally, he was like, I'm going to go ahead and just go head out. What do you think, Dr. Sabrina?
Well, I mean, okay, I go back to something you said. He lied. Well, did he really lie? Maybe he told her and she just didn't want to accept the truth. And I think sometimes it's not so much about the verbal that we is being communicated to us. His actions told her everything she needed to know. Year 1, year 2, year 3, he was telling her. So I don't think he was lying to her. He was telling her. She just did not like the message that she was receiving. She wanted it to be something else. And so she stayed. So clearly, I don't know how you put that on somebody else. I mean, it's up to you. Nobody is forcing you to say. I'm sure at no time, if you ask her, at no time during that 10-year period did he say, you can't leave. You got to stay here until I decide. He didn't tell her that. She decided that. So that was self-imposed torture.
Self-imposed torture.
Self-imposed torture.
No, you listen, I can't hear what you say because I'm too busy hearing what you do. And I think this man is not abruptly leaving her. There were signs there had to be that this wasn't working out. But she chose to see through them rose-colored glasses that this is the man for me, and we aren't gonna end up. And again, we don't have all the context around it, but it just doesn't add up. It ain't, something don't smell right in the milk. Something don't smell right. And so I think it was more of that. But let's talk more about it when we come back from the break.
Woo! It's a good show right here. But I'm biased. If you are just tuning in, you are watching Fly Nubian Money, where we help you master your mindset and maximize your money. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood, and I'm the proud producer of this show because it is lit. If you want to receive notifications for when we go live Monday through Friday, 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All you have to do is text the word Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. That's Queens to 87948. Also, if you want to grow your money and not blow your money, all you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. There's all kinds of resources, there's courses, there's free giveaways. There's just no reason to be broke in 2025. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoney.com. Obviously, you don't want to be entertained here. You want to know enough to grow. Wait, I need to put that on a shirt. You got to know to grow. Got to know to grow. So know and grow with flynubianmoney.com.
Welcome back. So listen, we are talking about a lady who is suing her ex-boyfriend because she feel like he wasted her time because she's 34. She spent the last 10 years with him, and here she is single, and now she wants to have a baby, but she can't. Now she's suing him to pay for her fertility treatments. And I want to bring Miss Black Hollywood on here. No, yes, Miss Black Hollywood. I want to bring her on here, but as she comes on the stage, I do want to address what Deborah Will Wynn says. She said, hell, after 90 days, you gonna know. Armando says she's just a glutton for punishment. She sat around and waited on that ninja. Redwire said, I suspect she wasn't maintaining her health during those 10 years because why does she need fertility treatments at 34 years old, especially if she's a Black American woman, because we have strong genes. She probably couldn't have no babies, right? Because at 34 years old, you know, your eggs ain't dried up yet. It was several signs. Protect teenage lovers, not taking any sides on this, but with hindsight being 2020, I think the therapy community should offer relationship premarital count for young aspiring women like this. If both had seen one even year two, she would have preserved some precious years. But it all goes back to everybody got choices. If she had a choice whether she wanted to stay or not, nobody held her against her free will. They didn't. But, you know, Miss Black Hollywood is in the back and she about to come on here. She talking about he need to pay up. And I would really like to hear her opinion on that. You ready to come on, sis? You ready to come on? All right, come on up here. Because she's back here talking about he need to pay. He need to pay. She's the only one in the world that actually agrees that this man need to come on, sis. Get on stage. I'm about to just put you on here. You ready? There she go.
Hey, y'all.
She on there. She on there.
Not gonna come on, but y'all.
She be the keyboard warrior back there talking about he need to pay up. Go ahead.
Listen, I was back there working. I'm working, right? But y'all just sound like a choir. So I just feel like I don't necessarily agree. I think that when people do make choices, you're right. And he made a choice to, I think he made a choice to string her along. There's, you know, men sometimes, and this is in some cases, I've heard men say like, well, I mean, she wanted a fantasy, so I gave it to her. Mm-hmm. I wanted, you know, I've literally heard a man say, I mean, she hasn't been listening. I mean, I want to be with her. I don't hate her, but I don't like love her. I don't want to be with her, but I mean, I'm not going to let her go. You know, and we don't know
what the fuck situation. Is that about? Why are men?
We don't know the situation, but
I do want to ask the question: why are men like that? Why do men keep women that they know that they don't really want to be with, but they don't really want to let them go?
Just in case.
Sex,
Dr. Felice, you could tell us.
What do you mean? It's for sex. What else is it for that?
They have other women for
that anywhere.
You can get that anywhere. That's easy.
I mean, well, whatever other conveniences that they feel like they need in their wife. It's not so much, okay, and I like how you spinning this, Miss Hollywood. We can put this on the man, but the question for her, which she's trying to put it on the man, is he did what he did, but why did you do what you did? Why did you stay there? Nobody forced you to stay there. And the point is, if she knew she was looking for a marriage, why did she not just verbalize that? And when she saw that wasn't happening, just move on. Because okay, I'm gonna go Bible on you. Come on, Dr. Felice. I'm gonna go scripture on you for a second. When a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. Obviously, he didn't view her as wife material, because if he had viewed her as wife material, as Deborah said, he probably would have known that within 90 days. He wouldn't have strung her along. So the question is, why do we allow ourselves to be strung along?
He proposed.
I don't know.
if a man proposes to you and says like, I'm gonna be ready when I get my money together, I'm gonna be ready, whatever, and you're young, you're gonna believe that no matter what. I hear you, but the Sabrina today might, but think a certain way, the Constance today, the Felice today, but when you in your 20s, you like, okay, okay,
But
okay.
that's why we can tell. That's why the 50-something-year-old Sabrina can speak to the 20-something-year-old who is out there believing that crap. That's why I am positioned to do that and to tell them, you're thinking about it from your feelings. It feels all warm and fuzzy, but it really is not. So who better position to really speak to them? I think somebody in the comments said the therapy community needs to be telling these people. There's somebody running game on you. Somebody needs to tell them.
If you were proposed to and you are in your 20s, you believe that we're gonna get married, we're gonna have babies, this is what we're gonna do.
You also got
And
to realize
before,
he was probably in his 20s too.
but
And all the
right,
things that a 20-year-old says.
right. And so before they actually, when they were supposed to get married, he broke it off. Right. So that's a gut. Like you've been stringing her along, and then at the end, when you couldn't get off the pot, or you had to get off the pot, or you had to do the thing, you got off the pot. And I think he should pay for it.
That's
Don't do
10
that.
years later. That's not a year later. That's 10 years later.
We don't know when he
how long are you
proposed.
gonna drink the Kool-Aid? But 20 years, 30 years?
Where her mama at? Where her aunties at? Where is her community at to say, peep game, sis?
Give me money. Give me the money.
Let's look at the next video.
Okay. Well, dang, I wasn't ready for that quite yet, Constance. Hold on. All right.
Keep your finger on the trigger, sis.
I was talking. Hold on.
Marriage is a scam.
Fire to chase after their dreams.
Don't date 50 Cent and don't date no damn rappers. Facts. Yes. Wait, just so you know, it took me years to be able to laugh about it. Right. I had to learn to laugh, not to cry no more. But I did it. Yes.
Hold on. Dang it.
Let me tell y'all something. Can I say something? I don't ever want no D that good to where I am talking about the ninja 20 years later. I don't want no D that good to where I'm talking about the ninja 20 years later, because he said they was really like, get over it. We was only rocking for two months. So that 2 months was that great.
It was longer. It was longer than 2 months, but he gonna minimize it though. He gonna be like, man, I dated her for a month. Get out of here. But it was more. They had a thing. They had a love affair. It was a thing.
What's the longest, Dr. Felice, you've seen somebody just not get over somebody?
Years. And I think even when people do get over exes, they still pop up in your vernacular. Like you still talk about them. I mean, come on, Constance, you still talk about your ex. Now I know you got kids and stuff, right? But he pop up in the conversation and he don't have no right to anymore. I'm just saying it just happens. They're memories, right? And when people ask you questions that triggers something, if that person was attached to that memory, you bring them up, not necessarily because you're still holding on, but because it triggered something. And especially if you thought you had something with that individual, especially if you created a fantasy or dreams or hopes around that individual, and then that betrayal of the relationship not working out, sometimes it creates a new trauma path that people have to get healed from. And so that's all that is. And she's telling you out loud, I'm healing. I'm still healing, but it hurt. And I think it's okay. I mean, regardless if the deed was good or whatever, that she's being vulnerable and letting people know she's a great model. Like, hey, she's telling them, stay away from it. Don't do what I did. So I'm appreciative of her for sharing and being vulnerable about it.
typically, you know, you don't marry a dude when he got it good like that because he knows how he got it good. He's a dude that be sleeping on an air mattress in a dirty house, but you will not leave because it's so good. And who wants that kind of trauma in their life? I just don't want it.
But guess
It
what?
will have you out here going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
But,
I'm
no, but it don't even take that for women to get attached. And I forget the scientific word for it, but when a woman opens her legs, period, whether the sex is good or not, a hormone goes off that attaches her to that person prematurely.
Oxytocin.
Thank you. And so really that's what happens. It doesn't even mean that the sex was good. We have to be really careful about who we give our pen to.
That's right.
And so everybody don't deserve access. And you pick 100%. Up all these crazy soul ties by giving access. Stop it. And it is an unfair world because it doesn't happen for men. When men get intimate with women, it doesn't happen like that for them. Only us.
I'm like a man now, by the way. But Dr. Sabrina, so you've been with your husband how long?
30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Do you think like you can still have love, like be in love with one person and marry or get with somebody else and it would last? Like you still have this lingering feeling about somebody else that you just can't get over?
Sure, you do. I mean, think about how many people have arranged marriages all the time. You know, they may not marry the person that they necessarily quote unquote love. They may have gotten married because somebody else wanted them to get married. I go back to, let me just step back and I want to address something that we're talking about because I think it's kind of two different things. It's one thing not to get over or to feel like, you know, hey, this was a situation that I experienced and I would not suggest that you put yourself into this situation. That's one thing. I went through this experience with somebody. I dated somebody for 10 years. I gave them 10 years of my youth, and I don't feel like I would not recommend that you do that. It's a whole nother thing for you to be bashing that individual after 10 years or saying that individual should be paying you because you gave them that time. I think that's two totally different things. And honestly, again, I just don't feel like this person is due something from an individual because they chose to stay in that situation, because at any time they could have left. And again, I think that goes back to us as women and us as older women feeding into our younger women and letting them know, hey, you are on a time clock. You do have a limited time to be a mother. When you go into these relationships after the, you know, oh, he's so fine, he's so this, that, and other, are you really having those conversations, letting him know that I want to be a wife, I want to have a family, and if this is not what you want, let's part in peace. You go your way, I go mine, and we move on. Are we bringing that to the table? You know, are we really doing that? Again, and I agree with you, Miss Black Hollywood. The me that I am now, I would have known to have those type conversations. So I'm adamant about trying to let other young women know this is what we should be talking about. These are the things, you know, what are you trying to do? What are you focused on in terms of wealth building? Where do you see yourself? What are your goals? Let's have some different type conversations and it not just be about, you know, how fine he is, how good he looks, and how good the sex is. There are a whole lot of other things that we need to be focused on other than just that.
Yeah. Amen. 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 And amen. You took us to church, Miss Black Hollywood.
I just wanted to add the reason why I included this video in particular is because if it was the same question, I would think that Vivica Fox is owed by 50 Cent, right? For wasting her 20 some years, right? There's a part of
her mind.
And wait, there's a part of me that believes, because on Sherry Shepherd, I think Deborah just brought it up that she was just talking about 50 Cent last week on Sherry Shepherd's show. And she said that her biggest regret was not having a baby. And I think part of that, I think 50 Cent is part of that. I think she's been all of these years, she's been laboring over this man and comparing every man that has come into her life to this romance that she had with 50 Cent. And so And so, right, I don't want that. Right. So
Mm-mm.
there's I think that if we were asking the same question, I think I'd be like 50 Cent, oh that lady. Something. Right? Just
In
oh
her
because
mind. In
man.
her mind. I mean, so if the D is was it good D, do you think, for her?
That's what she said
That's
on
what it
Sherry
was.
Shepherd last week. She said that she had
Telling you.
orgasms and all the things. Why are you so worried about this penis, girl?
Because
We talking about
red
money.
flags will have you
Jesus
feeling like Six
Christ.
Flags when that D be doing what it do. That's why
Just
you
keep
gotta
going
tread
back to the
lightly.
sex.
You gotta wait until you listen. You gotta vet these people, because you mess around and get some good, and your ass be walking around looking like a zombie going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, sitting on the hood of somebody's car in front of their house like a cat, waiting on them to come outside. Don't do it.
Can I offer another angle though? Like, I need us to reframe the waste of time and the lost time, because there was something that person provided for you in that time that made you stay. Whether it was the promise or whatever, it isn't a waste of time because it did something for you in that moment. And we have to stop looking at it as a waste. It wasn't a waste. Hopefully you were still doing life. You were still paying bills. You were still going to school. You were still making things happen for yourself. It wasn't necessarily a total loss because you stayed in it because there was something that was working for you. And if it really was that horrible, you would have left. And so it wasn't a total waste. And you got to go back and you got to reframe it. Or you should go back and you should reframe the way you look at that time, and that you made a conscious choice, and it's okay. If it wasn't a best choice, fine. Now look at the data and say, what do I want to take from this experience for my now and going forward? How am I going to make better choices for myself? And this is going to really shape her and make her to do all those things that we've been prescribing. Yeah, at 20 years old, we are a little different. We are a little bit more hopeful, and we hold on to things that may not necessarily be the truth. But we still got to create a timeline by which we want things to happen. And women, we do have a clock, and you have to know that. So I tell a lot of my girls, go ahead and freeze your eggs so you can remove the pressure of babies off of your plate for an extra number of years. Go ahead and freeze your eggs so that they're still fresh. And so no matter how long, something happens, you can always retrieve your eggs. And also, there is something in the water right now. Black women are having ridiculous infertility issues like never before.
Really?
I have so many clients who are going through IVF, and it's a very painful experience, and they're young. The age range is really large. And so I don't know if it's the food, I don't know if it's our diet and different things that are contributing to stress levels. And I tell a lot of my Black women, like, you have got to start working on your self-care and stress. We hold stress in our wombs. And so if it's not infertility, it's miscarriages that a lot of Black women are experiencing right now. And so I think there's something going on. So I do understand the need for women to have children. And so freeze your eggs. That's an option too.
Yeah, you know what? I love the way you did reframe that, because I do believe that there was some benefit that she got by being in that situation for 10 years. It wasn't the baby. And everybody's goal is not to have a baby, in different relationships. Everybody's ultimate goal in game is not a baby, but she did get something out of that situation. Otherwise, she would not be in it. So you can't say it was just a total waste. She got something. But we're going to talk more about it, huh?
But he knew what she wanted.
We'll talk more about it when we come from the break.
I know you're busy. You got things to do, and you can't take us on the go with you every single day. Good news for you. We are now on Spotify. So if you can't watch us, now you can listen to us on Spotify. Search Fly Nubian Money and all the episodes shall appear. All you have to do is like, subscribe, leave a 5-star rating, leave some comments, tell people how you love us, so that when other people come along and are looking for a great show to watch, they can find Fly Nubian Money too. One last thing, and just in case you've been sitting under a rock, Fly Nubian Money now has an investment club. We are the Fly Nubian Money Club. It's easy. All you have to do is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com, and I am committed to bringing in top experts from all industries to help you level up. They're teaching us the skills that we need to compete in this market. We often say that nobody is coming to save us, not the government, but guess what? We're coming to save us. I'm coming to save you with the Fly Nubian Money Club. So listen, all you have to do again is go to flynubianmoneyclub.com. We have a 30-day free trial set up just for you, just for those people that are struggling. Even if you ain't struggling, you ain't got to struggle. I'm coming. Okay, let me stop playing. I'll see you soon.
Welcome back to Fly Nubian Monies. We're talking about a lady suing her ex-boyfriend who left her, oh, by the way, for wasting 10 years of her time. Now she has to have fertility treatments, and she wants him to pay for it. Is sis right or is sis wrong? You be the judge. And now I know Anonymous said, yeah, bro. And I'm surprised he actually agreed with that. He said, you can't be wasting these women's time. So I thought, whoa, okay, Anonymous. He actually, I guess he said he needs to be sued. All right, I could dig it. But let's go ahead and go to the next video. And I already told you that one. Let's go.
All right. We'll be right back.
A man will waste your time for years and then marry the next girl in 3 months. And let me tell you why. It's not that she's better than you, and it's not that you weren't enough. It's because he never planned to choose you. He kept you around for convenience, comfort, and ego. But deep down, he already knew that you weren't the one he was going to choose. And when he finally decides that he's ready, he'll give another woman everything that you begged him for. But here's the truth. That does not make you less valuable. It just means that you were loving a man who never intended to love you the right way or the way that you deserved. So don't take it as a loss. Take it as clarity. Okay? The right man won't waste your time. He'll know from the start, and you won't have to beg him to treat you right.
Ain't that the truth? I just believe that what God has for you is truly for you. And a lot of times when that happens, he's moving that person out the way for the right person. And that's what people have to realize. And they have to reframe it in that way. He wasn't it, sis. He just wasn't it. That wasn't who God wanted for you. And you could have gotten married and you could have had children and you could have been really, really miserable and end up getting a divorce anyway. So what's the point? You got to look at it as man's rejection is God's protection. What do you think about the whole idea? Because many men string women along, Miss Black Hollywood. A lot of men do it. At what point do we have to say should the responsibility or the onus be on us as the women?
It really just, in this situation, we're going back to the situation. You know how I feel about that. In certain situations, I feel like if I strung you along, if I promised you, if I kept promising you that I was going to do a thing, almost like not a business contract, but if I pull out there, there's a part of me that feels like you might be responsible. You could have just told me, you could have been honest, but that's not the question you asked me. You asked me why, one more time, Constance, what did you ask me?
Who's the responsibility lie on? When a man strings a woman along, at what point does it become her responsibility to whether she leaves or stays?
It just really depends. I feel like it depends. I know the answer to that is probably you are responsible for your life. I know like the logical answer to that is you are responsible. But I think I don't think things can be black and white sometimes, especially when feelings are attached and people are attached to situations. It can get very complex. And I think it just depends, right? I just think that people lie. Like you said, people lie. And sometimes when you lie and you string people along, or you frame things in a way that is deceptive, I feel like you should pay for it. That's just what I think. Don't lie. Don't string people along.
What do you think?
I think that people can be very selfish, and they do things that make them happy for the time being. And if you happen to be that person and you allow them to do that, they will. And so you have to know for yourself what it is you want and how long you're willing to wait for it. And you can let somebody tell you something like, how many of you waited for somebody to say, hey, I'm going to give you a job? But what did you do? You didn't sit there and wait for them to keep stringing you along saying, well, we just wait for the paperwork. You went out there and you found something else because you knew you had a need that had to be met. Same thing in relationships. And there's so many reasons why people stay in relationships that they know are not it. She knew that he wasn't it. She probably loved him and liked him because she was a soul tie. It could have been she wrapped her identity up into him and the future that she thought she wanted to have with him. And sometimes people get tunnel vision and rigid and fixed on this one person, this one idea, and they can't get away from it. And those are probably all the things that she experienced. And a lot of times we don't know. Sometimes even men, even in their selfishness, sometimes they don't know how to break away from people. Sometimes they don't know how to say, okay, I lied, let me get out of it, for ego, for different things. And so we just have to, we have to start teaching our girls and our boys how to love themselves.
How to love themselves. Dr. Sabrina, do you think she knew? Do you think there's a certain intuition that women just have that you just know, and she maybe wasn't paying attention to it?
After a while, I would think maybe not initially, but 10 years is a long time. It would be different if it were, she's 24 and maybe by 28 or even 30, I'll give her 30. But after 10 years, I think she knew. And then the question becomes, let's go back to how it ended. It didn't end because she ended it. He literally walked away from her. So the question becomes, how long would she have just stayed in that? Knowing, I have allowed him to waste 10 years of my life, and I'm just going to continue drinking the Kool-Aid and believing whatever he says, and again, we're hearing her side of it. And I want to be fair. We hear her side. This is what she is saying. He didn't bring this to mainstream media. He didn't bring this to us. Right. She brought it to us. So we have to also remember that there are two sides. Yeah. We don't know what his side is. Maybe he did tell her. But sometimes when our heart ties are there, we don't choose to hear that part. And certainly we're not going to share that part. It's going to be all about, he stringed me along for 10 years. But what about all them, at least once a month, times that he told you this is not working? But you said, let's keep trying. We can work it out. That may have been the case. I don't know. I'm just saying from my purview, where I'm looking at this, I don't feel like somebody should say that somebody else is responsible for something like that. And then we have to remember, we live in America. She can sue for anything. If she wants to sue, let her sue.
And Anonymous said he walked away because he found someone new. This dude was obviously a layman. That might be it. He might have just found somebody else and decided that he no longer wanted to be in the relationship. And you can't sue somebody because they don't want to be with you no more, sis.
But let's look at it this way too, y'all. I think as humans, we have a responsibility to be as honest and transparent as we possibly can. Like, we really shouldn't be stringing people along. If you don't want to be there, leave. Yeah. Don't just have people in your space because it's convenient or that it fixes a need for you. And I think that if she was to sue and she win, this would be a very good and powerful lesson for people out there that, it'll help them to speed up whether or not they know something. Like, if you know this isn't the one, don't offer them a ring. Yeah. Don't offer them a promise in a future contract. Don't do that. Yeah. Make sure, just date and be honest with all the people up front. Look, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just wanting a good time. If you're down with that, you can come get in my car. If you're not, don't. People need to be more transparent and honest when they engage with each other. We have a responsibility towards one another. And so this would be a great lesson if she does win.
I'm so adamant about not stringing people along because I would never want to do that to people. And I try to hey, we're friends. Hey, what are we doing here? And so then I would, then I gotta go ghost for a little bit. Let you know we getting a little too close. Then okay, it's been 2-3 months. All right, so you want to hang out? Then you start getting clingy again.
That's because you're a player. That's because you're a player.
I'm not a player. No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
Friend.
I try not. I try my hardest not to string nobody along because I just think that's horrible. But it's like, okay, we're having a good time. I'm not.
Why you go back to him and you know he like you and then be like, now we can hang after 2 weeks or after 2 months. Are you over me now? Okay, we can hang again.
And so don't do that weird shit. Don't be doing that. You don't never call me like that. So like, you know, but I try not to string people along. Like I try to be like very clear. Hey, yeah, get out. Anyway, let's go to the stats. According to the CDC, fertility declines significantly after age 32 and even more rapidly after the age of 35.
That's why I think she can win.
Black women are more likely to experience infertility, but less likely to seek treatment due to cost and stigma. Listen, Deborah Will Wynn said something. No, she said, you know, when you talked about, is it in the food with this infertility? That's interesting because when you talk about birth rates of white people is at an extraordinary low rate. They're just not having babies. That's why they have this big push to get the immigrants out of here. And they fear the browning of America. These Hispanics are coming here. They having babies in record numbers. We about to be the minority because our women ain't having babies. And then now all of a sudden, now Black women are having fertility issues. What is really going on? What are they doing to Black women so that we're not having babies? Interesting, because you know that they've done that in African countries. And then they used to do that to Black women in Mississippi. Y'all know that, right? They used to do these circumcision or these what do you think the fertility things where Black women couldn't have babies. They still might be experimenting on us, y'all. Anyway, fertility treatments such as IVF can range from $15,000 to $30,000 per cycle. A study from UCLA found that women who delay relationships or motherhood due to long-term partnerships are more likely to express regret about lost time. A 2024 Pew study found that 40% of single women over 30 believe that their past relationships delayed the families they wanted.
And one more.
Men benefit more from delayed commitment because their fertility window is wider and social expectations are lower. So I have taught my daughter's like, man, if I got pregnant now, she's 26. She said, I feel like it's a teenage pregnancy. I'm not ready to have no kid. I'm not on my feet. I live in my mama's basement. I ain't ready. And she's like, you know, a lot of people are waiting until they're in their 30s. Should I be encouraging this since the window of fertility is lower for women, Dr. Sabrina, or should I be telling her go out and get a man and get married and have a baby?
No, I don't think that's just something you should encourage her to do, especially if that's not something that she's interested in doing at this time. I think it really does boil down to the person and where they are in their lives. Some people would prefer to spend their youth, educating themselves. Some people would prefer to spend their youth building their careers. And it really does boil down to what that individual wants. And I think the real conversation, more so than just saying, okay, you only have a short period of time, you need to go do this, that, and the other, is to say, what is it that you are interested in doing? What are you trying to accomplish? If you are trying to, spend your 20s maybe building your career, let's make sure that you're on the right pathway to doing that, knowing that, at some point you may want to look at just kind of shifting your focus a bit. And I'll take, for example, let's look at somebody like a Rihanna. I mean, she used her younger years to really focus on her career. And now, that she's at a point where she feels like, obviously, that, I think I saw something the other day that says she's a billionaire in 2 different business entities, built both of them to billionaire status. Then, of course, if she wants to, do the Nick Cannon and have 12, 13, 14, 15 babies, she can do it because, she can afford to do that. So I think it's really about, and it goes back to what Dr. Felice says, really educating our young women on what their options are if they choose to go a certain route, but not necessarily just saying, oh, you better go marry a man because if you don't go on and get that man now, you won't have no babies. You won't be able to have no babies. No, I don't think that should be the messaging. I really think it is about what is it that you want? What are you trying to accomplish with your life? And let's just be cognizant of the fact that if you want to pair that with a family, you might want to start thinking about this, and this as other options as well.
Yeah. Well, so Felice, I'm going to ask you that question. Should we be, with the high level of infertility that you're seeing with these young people, should we be encouraging these young girls? Because here's the thing. A girlfriend of mine said, when I went to college, these white girls went to college to look for a husband. And we got out of college. We was like, I ain't looking for no damn husband. I'm trying to do my career. The black women were totally different. And she's like, now here I am in my 40s, ain't got no man because I was so focused on my career. Should we be encouraging, these young ladies to do the opposite of, trying to settle down when they're at their best?
No, not at all. Only because if they're not ready, would you want a woman who's not ready to have children to have children? Mm-mm. That's why we have all these children, black and brown children right now in the foster care system that no one is ready and willing to take care of because their parents they were just vessels, but they weren't ready to be parents. Having children is one of the most beautiful and responsible duties that you will ever have on the planet. And you should be ready for it. It takes everything out of you and all your energy and capacities. And if you are not ready, you are going to slip and damage a person that didn't ask to come here. They are only here by your choices. So no, if that individual knows that they are not ready to do that, then they should not. And you do not have to believe in all the statistics and hype. Whatever is for you, you will have. And sometimes you're going to go through some trials and tribulations before you get there. But stay the course. You're going to have it. And you just might have it older. And I don't necessarily want people to subscribe to regret, because you did exactly what you wanted to do and needed to do in that moment. And you can't go back and change it. So there's no need for regret.
That's true. How old were you when you had Lauren, Tiara?
I was 29.
Okay, so you was knocking on 30's door.
Yeah. I felt like a teenage mom.
Why?
Because I wasn't ready. I actually thought I was gonna have a baby at like 45. Like I was like, I'm gonna Holly Berry it. I was in the middle of when I found out I was pregnant. As a matter of fact, I was leaving New Orleans, headed to Atlanta. I had just gotten a theatrical and commercial agent in Canada, New Orleans, and I was headed to Atlanta, and I had one in LA. So I was really focused on a television career, and I found out I was pregnant. And right afterwards, I was like, okay, well, I'll just paternity model. And so I did, or maternity model, and just tried to like pivot because it was unexpected, but I never thought like, oh, I don't want it. I just thought like, I just thought I wasn't ready. I mean, if you live in LA and you're young in your 20s, it's a city that you need money to live in. And at that time I was eating Carl's Jr. burgers every day, like trying to go to auditions. Like I was just in the middle of my life.
Yeah. And I mean, but the thing about it, having a kid is like, are you ever ready? No. Everybody else is always wanting to wait for the right time. Is there ever really a right time? Because I think, for a responsible person, you figure it out. You just figure it out. But if you're just tuning in, we got another video, right? We're talking about a young lady who's suing her ex-boyfriend for wasting her time because he didn't marry her the way she thought he was going to. Again, like Felice and Sabrina said, we don't know what he said. We don't know what he was telling her.
Everything.
From her side. From her side, he wasted her time, and now she wants to be paid, and she wants fertility treatments for her and her next dude. Say your next dude ain't broke without saying your next dude ain't broke. However, let's look at the next video.
The biggest mistake you can make is wasting your youth on a man. Don't waste your prime years chasing a man or being with a man that brings no value to your life. My biggest fear is waking up in my mid-30s, reminiscing on my 20s and thinking, dang, I could have been doing so much more. I could have been so much further in life right now if I just stayed focused. I don't want that to ever be a regret of mine or a thought that crosses my mind all the time. You won't know a man wasted your prime years until it's too late, and I see it happen all the time. I want you guys to be so invested in your career, making money, traveling, that you don't even have the time to think about settling down or chasing a man, because they will always be there. My mindset right now is, when I'm older, I want to be able to look back at my 20s and say, I did everything. I lived my life to the fullest and I'm content. But ladies, please be careful. These men know what they're doing. They know they're wasting your youth. They know what they're doing by getting you pregnant. Please. I'm not saying don't date, but don't get comfortable. because we're not getting any younger and time goes by so.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel that, when I got married at 23, I wanted to travel for a little bit. I wanted to be married for a minute. And he wanted a baby right away. And so we ended up getting pregnant right away after we got married. And then we took, 5 years later we had my second, and then 2 years later we had my third. And after we had my third, he was like, got him. I know you ain't going nowhere now. I think it was his way of like locking me down. But I do look back and think how much further I could have been along. But I don't think you'll dwell on that. You just got to make the best of your life now. But she mentioned like being focused on your career. They're flipping the script these days. A lot of these women, these young ladies, like my daughter and a lot of these young ladies, they think working is ghetto. They want to live the soft life. They want to be a stay-at-home wife. They don't want to be doing all of that. What do you think? Is that the right messaging that we should tell these young ladies? Because are men the type of men that are going to take care of these young ladies, Sabrina? Dr. Sabrina?
Well, I think it's where you look and what you find. What you look when you find. If you, a lot of times the disappointment comes because maybe that's what we want, but the type of men we're looking for, are we dealing with, are not those type of men that's going to sit us at home. And then it could be the opposite, So I would say it goes back to what we have been talking about from the start. It really does boil down to communication, communicating where you are, what you are looking for, what your expectations are. And for us to be clear on that too, because I go back to, I'm going to defer back to my 20-something-year-old self. I mean, that was some times along the way where I was confused. I didn't even know what I was 20. I didn't know what I was looking for, at 20 something. So sometimes, I look at the case we're talking about today. I wonder how much transformation has occurred with that young lady over that 10-year period. So when she went into the relationship, did she go into the relationship saying from the start, hey, I'm here because I want to be a wife, blah, blah, blah? Or is that something she started to transform into, or as she saw herself approaching 30? Once she crossed that 30 threshold, is that something that started to resonate more with her? I don't know. It's a lot to unpack with that.
A lot to unpack. Tiara, let me ask you this, because there is this epidemic of these ladies wanting to do something different. They're like, feminism is dead. Who told these motherfuckers to represent for us? We don't want that shit in 2025. We don't want to be feminists. Is it going to be with the way that life is set up right now? Do they even have a chance to find a man that's going to be there to give them that type of life?
Right.
Especially these young Black girls.
Yeah, I mean, we see it, right? We see girls saying like, you got to cash at me to have a date. I just think the perspective is a little backwards. It feels like the youth are doomed when I'm looking at the internet, but I know that the internet is not real life.
Right.
So I'm not gonna feed into that. But I'll say that we are in a different world. And I think that if you want the only way that you can absolutely guarantee your soft life is if you create it. And you can try to marry rich, but that's just like you running around chasing what we see, right? You chasing a white man with money, you chasing a baller, you chasing a rapper. Vivica told us not to do that. So I think for Black women, and for young Black women, they're thinking like, well, how can I make this work? People are turning towards content creation. I mean, we're seeing it. A lot of Black couples are making content together, which I absolutely love. So they're getting money together. I just see a transition in the way that people are approaching getting money together and dating and using the internet. So, if you depending on, somebody to come and take care of you or save you in this Trump economy, I don't know if you're going to get that. So I would definitely tell Lauren, well, we putting Lauren to work. So, Lauren, just booked a show not too long ago.
So go Lauren.
Yeah. Lauren booked a sitcom. I can't tell y'all the details.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yes, so my baby is going to TV. Like, that's what we're going to do with her. Just make sure that we've watched, and this is a sidebar, but I've had a chance to see, I don't know Carol personally. Well, I met her, Marseille Martin's mom, and I've been just like keeping in touch and watching how she sculpted her career. So, we putting Lauren on that little
Lauren
young
is the young
millionaire track.
Marsai Martin. Lauren is definitely the young Marsai Martin for sure.
Yeah, she get that a lot. That she, she gets that a lot. People hire her for that reason.
Yeah, literally. So let me ask the good therapist in the building, because I love the way she always looks at the glass as half full, and I need you to give me some glass half full energy on the same question. Can these women find a man that's going to offer them the soft life in this, like Tiara said, Trump economy, with these young Black men and the mindset of the young Black men and Black women? Are they going to be able to find it?
So I think that your universe mirrors who you are. So whatever it is you want, you have to be it. So I would suggest that these women start cultivating what it is they want to be, so that they can see that reflected back to them. And so what does that mean? I'm loving our Black women embracing the soft life. I think that the hard exterior, it needs to go. I think that softness is going to invite our men back to us. That is going to create an atmosphere where we can have great communication, where they'll start to see us anew, differently, and stop showing up in this stereotypical angry Black woman, kind of domineering, aggressive space. You can still be all of that, assertive, and be soft, be kind, be gentle, be welcoming. Create a space, a safe space for our men. And so I think that this soft life, I think that this is going to create that, have our brothers coming back home to us. I think that they're wanting that and needing that from us. And so I think that it is possible. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Always glass half full with you, Dr. Felice. Always glass half full. We need that. Because we need to, they need to understand that what God has for them is for them, and they can attract whatever it is they want. And that's the bottom line. I want to go ahead and let's go ahead and wrap this up, y'all, because it's almost, I'm gonna let Dr. Felice go first, because she always got a client at 2 on a dot. So let's let her go first. I'm gonna do her final thought. And where can we find you, Dot?
So I just want to say that this was some great conversation. I wish we had some more time to really delve into it. But I think that I think this young lady needs to reframe how she looks at her time and whether or not it was a waste. And I need her to start staying in her now and appreciate the fact that she still has some great years ahead of her, instead of concentrating on what she didn't get. Yeah. And so you can find me at Instagram at the b.big.coach. You can find me on my website, www.bebigcoach.com. I would love to hear from you. I would love to spend some time with you and help you get on your Be Big journey.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. They said, somebody said something about the boys, and my boys say, they want to be in a position where they are the providers. And so we need to have more young men that think like that I want to go and I want to be a provider, and not, oh, she got to work. She got to be 50-50. It may not work out like that. You may not be the sole breadwinner, but having that mindset that this is what I want to provide for my family is key. And so that's, I think, the village of these brothers, we need to have these villages of these brothers that are teaching these young brothers that. Dr. Sabrina, what's your final thought?
Well, it's like this. I think in life, we all make decisions, and we do the best we can with the knowledge that we have at the time that we are making those decisions. And sometimes we look back on them and we regret them. We wish that we could change the way things are, or maybe even wish that we could change the way things were. But what I want to say really is to my young sisters that are out there. I think oftentimes we spend a lot of time that we consider wasted time on others. I want to challenge us to start spending some of that time on ourselves, investing some of that time in ourselves. As women, once we become mothers, we often give so much of ourselves to others, whether it's our children, we become spouses, we give so much of ourselves to other people. But I want to just encourage us as young women to start really focusing on investing your time in yourself, in becoming the best version of yourself that you can be. That's what my hope is for the young Black women that are out there, and not just Black women, all of us, let's just invest our time in being a better version of ourselves so that we are better and not 10 years later bitter.
Oof.
That being said, I am Dr. Sabrina Edmond Williams, educator, author, and investor. Opening minds and closing contracts. I am so noted. And I am so excited and so delighted to be here with these beautiful queens on this royal court. I am here to help you. 2025 is coming to an end. We're wrapping up 25, ramping up for 2026. If you need help with your legacy planning, please, please, please reach out to me across platforms. You can find me at I Am So Noted. That's IAMSEWNOTED. Peace.
Yo, that was good. You said a word. But I mean, both of y'all said bars. Drop the motherfucking mic and let's close right now. No, I'm just kidding. Miss Black Hollywood.
Right. I'm like, let me go on.
Right.
Let me go. You know, what I think is, you know, all we have is time, right? That's what God gives us on this planet is time. And I think we have to be very mindful of the way that we're using these precious moments. All we got is what we got before we go on to glory, right?
Yeah.
And so we really don't want to waste them. But sometimes you don't know that you're wasting them. You don't know that you're wasting time. You don't know that you're setting yourself up for failure. And I think it wasn't until I went to therapy and I spent some time. I'm still in therapy. I've been in there. I go every Tuesday for the last 4 years, and before that, I'm just a constant student. I go back every few years, but this year, these last 4 years, it's just been like I'm gonna just do it for maintenance. I'm gonna just do it to iron out things. And so it wasn't until I got in those spaces where I understood it. I can see red flags a lot faster. I can hold on to my standards and boundaries very quickly. I see things and be like, oh no, that's not for me. Immediately, like, oh, that's not for me. But God bless you. Have a good life. Goodbye. Right? Or I'm able to communicate exactly what I want in a way that's just like, listen, you've done that twice now. You've done that twice now. Like, let's talk about it. And we talk through things, and I'm able to communicate communicate my needs in a way that advocates for me. So I would just suggest that we do that. Yes, I go to therapy. Yes, I go to therapy. I've been in therapy. It started out as just like as I've been on my journey. I'm not about to explain it, not anonymous, but I will say this. I will say this. It started out because my mother came back into my life at 38, and we hadn't had a relationship before. And so I was like, I want somebody here to just kind of flesh out all of the things. Cause and then it just turned into like, other things. And I listen from week to week. You can ask Dr. Sabrina, I'm sure her clients are like this. I'd be like, am I depressed this week? I just be going and making up shit. Like, am I depressed today? Because I was feeling, she'd be like, you are not depressed. I'd be like, oh, because it's been this and this and this. I saw this video that said that I might be and so I do. I use it now for life. I mean, I'm extremely busy and I'm constantly struggling with work-life balance and giving myself over too much to certain things. And so I like to have somebody there as a perspective. Like, I don't dump on my friends. I dump on my therapist. Anonymous, maybe you should try that too. My name is Tiara Williams. I'm also known as Miss Black Hollywood and Karma J, just depending on the day. Y'all, I have a show coming up. My listening party is here in LA. So if you are in the LA area, it's my show is December 11th. And we're gonna be in Inglewood. I will send out information if you are in LA, you want to come, or you want to fly in and come see your girl. Come on, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna get it popping. We're gonna listen to some songs. I'm gonna sing some songs. We're gonna have a good time.
I love it. Congratulations, Miss Tiara.
Thank you. Thank you. That's why I ain't seeing you, Constance. I miss you. But
yeah, I know you've been working on ever since you got working on that punk ass album. You just like straight dumped me, but it's for a good cause.
And if you want to hear my, like Constance says, punk ass album that I've been working real hard on, go to karmaj.com. That's KHARMAJ.com. Go ahead and download it, or because if you go to stream it, you got to listen to it 80 times for me to make $1. And so I would appreciate your support in real time.
Support my sis. Support her.
Not my punk ass. Not my punk ass.
Punk ass album.
Go ahead.
It's a bomb punk ass album, though. It is. It is worth it.
It has taken us away from each other. I miss you.
Yeah, every penny is worth it, though. You guys got to know. I'll say, listen, I agree with my two sisters on the bottom. I do not agree with this Black Hollywood about people's time being wasted. You wasted your own damn time. But I do think that we should go back to really understanding what is our purpose. I love that because God, if you open yourself up to the possibilities, God is going to bless you with the things that you need and you desire. And so nobody could take your time away from you if you are truly walking in your purpose. And I think that's what people need to do. We just need to just really open up ourselves, be listening, hearing, and have a good discernment. You know, off top, if a man is wasting your time or if he's not, and you just choose. If you choose to go that route, then you just have to pay the consequences, unfortunately. But we can have anything that our heart desires if we just tap in, and we just got to tap into the right thing. So that's all I got on that. And you know what? Listen, I have the Net 7 Collective. Our new cohort is coming up in January. Okay. And so we have some brew, and I also got some other things brewing with the ladies from Net 7 Collective, but some things that I'm going to be helping them really push out. But my heart and my passion is Black women, and this community is just growing, and we have some really, really amazing women in here, just resources. And so I just want to encourage any woman, if you are a Black woman or you know a Black woman, to have them holler at me. Go to my website or go to net7bbs.com or constancecarter.com and take a look and talk to me. Let's see if you'd be a good fit. Okay. But listen, at the end of the day, guess what? The day is going to end. Because time is one of the most valuable things we have, and we cannot get it back. You can't get a refund. You can't redo it. So the real question today is no matter not whether he should pay for her fertility treatments, it's how we stop giving years to people who cannot give us the future we want. You are going across an ocean for a ninja who wouldn't cross a pond for you. Stop it, Black women. Stop. And we're going to see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.